Good morning, folks. I hope you're well, and I hope you had a great weekend. So, I have four pairs on watch today, and those are pound yen, pound dollar, Aussie CAD, and Aussie dollar. Of course, it is a bank holiday once again. I do love bank holidays. I jest. It is a bank holiday in certain countries, so we may get lower liquidity as a result. But why am I looking at pound yen? So, again, I'm ordering these in order of what I think's most likely to be ready soonest, but we shall see. So on the higher time frames, you can see that we've been moving to the upside. We broke below here and we've been moving to the upside. However, when we drill down a little bit, you can see that we have tapped into an area of significance here. Okay, so we had all of this volume here. Okay, and then we left a little footprint outside of all of this. We didn't quite get to the top of this, but we left a little footprint, and this was the origin of this move. There was an exchange of liquidity here, which was great enough for price to smash through the base of all of this and only start stalling until it got when it got to here. Okay, so that tells me that there's likely a lot of likely a lot of liquidity here, and sure enough, we tap into the area and we move to the downside. Okay, you can see that we've had this kind of evening star formation here. We had the bullish move. The stall in price is not really a star, but we have the stall in that area, more of a sort of hanging man candle, and then we get the follow through, solid bodied follow through to the downside. Okay, we're getting the wicks here, the stalling. And if we just drill down to the 15-minute rather, you can kind of see the start of this structure forming. Okay, so we've moved down correctively, okay, from this little area that we tapped into. So what I'm going to be looking for is there's a little flag forming here, but I wouldn't be interested in trading into this low, because you're just going to be tagged in and tagged out, most likely, and priced to something like that. So what I'm going to be looking for, and I'm being dazzled by the spotlights again as I look to the right, I'm going to be looking for a 1 hour structure. So if this was to come back up to this high, I can't really see the structure on the 4 hour chart. It's just consolidation. So therefore, this is a 1 hour structure. And my rules dictate that if we get a 1 hour structure, I will be looking for a short from the top there with a 1 hour risk entry, a 1 hour rejection as a minimum. Okay, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. And then I would manage it. I'll be able to manage it down to there for 3.5%. And I would be targeting this low here, okay, because then that will have completed. One, it's a significant area. Two, there's a significant amount of profit down to that area. And also, if we measure this and we assume within a 1, 2, 3 wave leg, the 3 wave is of a similar length, that would take us down to that area. So I would set the take profit at 90% of this range, which mathematically actually lines up with bang on where that comes to. So as I said, these things that we look for, there's mathematics behind them, even though I've drawn them sort of crudely. So I would set the take profit there, and that would give us something in the region of 7.5% to work with. Okay, so that is pound yen. So we've got the alert set there. If they don't trigger, I don't need to check this pair. Pound dollar, we can see I did hide these, but they've put themselves back on the screen again. Right, if we just zoom out. So on pound dollar, you can see that we've tapped into an area of significance here. We had the gap to it, implying that there's liquidity in that area. We scoot back up to fill the area that we gapped to, and then we've pushed to the downside aggressively. I am aware that we've come from a very big move up, so this could be an impulse correction continuation to push higher longer term. But again, it doesn't mean we can't capitalize on a move to the downside in the meantime. And what's giving me that impression is if we just analyze this structure. So we've had the gap there, we've filled, we moved to the downside. What I'm looking for, and we can see price left a footprint. We got close to that footprint, okay, and it gapped. Okay, why did it gap? Likely a lot of FOMO selling in here. Many of the people that sold here would have had their orders in this area here. So since we've pushed up from this base again, there's likely a zone of orders up there that price needs to fill before it can move to the downside. And what I like about this one is that if we did tap into the area and give me what I would be looking for, then we have these gaps here. We have a near miss to that low, we have a near miss to there. So there would be a zone of orders likely down this area that price would need to tap into if we tapped into here and rejected before price could move to the upside to give us that impulse correction continuation that we would be looking for, or likely be looking for longer term. Okay, so I can see this structure on the 4-hour chart. I can't see it on the daily. I can see it on the 4-hour chart. I can see the high, the gap to it, and the fact that we appear to be coming back up. Therefore, this is a 4-hour structure, and my rules according to a 4-hour structure are as follows. If we get a corrective tap into the area of value, okay, then I would look for either a 4-hour risk entry or 2 1-hour rejections. Okay, what I'd ideally like, because we have this little move there set just above, what I would ideally like is for price to tap into that wick and kind of spike through that, and then break back below that, and then we would have that risk entry there, and I'd be able to whoops. Let's try that again. Which command is it? Okay, what's happened here? Okay, we've got kicked off there. I don't know what happened there, but so that's what I would be looking for. Or if we don't get that, if we just got there really impulsively, okay, I'll be looking for the push down and the flag. And again, I could manage it down to there, and I would set the take profit there, which just so happens, once again, we just measure the range. It mathematically lines up with 90% of this overall range. So I would set the take profit at that low there. Okay, or just above it. So next up is Aussie CAD. Okay, we've been kicked off the internet again. Scotland's infrastructure doing what it does best. Stalling. Not only have we got bank holiday price action, we've got bank holiday internet as well, by the looks of it. There we go. We're back in business. So Aussie CAD. So on the Aussie CAD, there's a similar deal in the sense that because we've come from a move up, this could be a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 to push higher. But if you look at what price is doing at the moment, we have, what do we have here? We have a low, we have the base of all of this, and we have a gap to that low, and we have a gap to that low. So again, there's likely a zone of orders here. And if you look what we're doing, where we're stalling, we just take this through, we are stalling at what is the retest of the base of all of this volume, okay? So if the price gives us a message, okay, and we push to the downside, then we've likely washed out a lot of the liquidity that was sat above what a lot of people would have seen now as resistance, which would mean that they would have their stops just above. If we push to the downside, then we've likely washed out all of that liquidity, washed out all the stops that were above here, and we're moving to the downside to take out all of these orders that are in this zone because of all these gaps where people likely bought and had their stops just below, okay? So what I'm going to be looking for to confirm that thesis is a break below this area of value here. Okay, just extend that out slightly. Let's be a bit more artistic. There we go. A break below the area of value followed by 15-minute continuation. I'm not looking for a 5-minute continuation because I'm being mindful of the higher time frame, potential higher time frame direction. Okay, that this could be a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So the 5-minute risk entries are a bit more risky. So I'm looking for a push down and a 15-minute consolidation, and then I would target these lows down here, and you can see we've got plenty of profit potential there. It's going to be a similar deal with Aussie dollar. I've just got this slightly lower down because of the amount of volume. This looks like it generated more volume here, whereas this one didn't, if you look at the corrections. So I think this is slightly less likely, especially as it's not retesting the back end of anything. Less likely, I don't think it is anyway. Mind you, it has tapped into that, but there's multiple inflection points. Okay, so I'm factoring these things in. I just think this is slightly less likely, but they're one and the same basically. Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar, they're one and the same. What I'll be looking for is a break below this area of interest. Okay, we've tapped into a sharp move there, okay, where there was some degree of volume, and we got the gaps to that area. There's the near miss to the area, the near miss that we often see if an area is valuable. We spiked above, didn't commit. Okay, that may be because there's more orders above there, or it may be because there wasn't enough orders up there to send price to the downside. So rather than try and guess which of the two is the case, what I'm looking for is a break back below this area of interest, and once again a 15-minute consolidation, and then that will confirm that price found enough liquidity to send it to the downside, and then the consolidation is likely just the stacking of the orders by the bigger players for the next wave to the downside. And then once again, I'll be targeting these lows down there. There's many, many of them, but we would have a significant profit potential even just down to that low. So that is it, folks. That is what I'm going to be looking for today from these pairs. I'm going to reset an alert because it seems to have disappeared. Some strange things happening this morning, but there we go. The alert is back on the chart, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll speak to you again soon.